All right, so here's the answer key for solving quadratic inequalities homework. It says in exercise 1 through 6, solve the inequality algebraically. All right, so for the first one, it says 4x squared is less than 25. Hopefully from class you recall that it has to equal 0. So we're going to go ahead and subtract this 25 over to the same side. So that's going to give us 4x squared minus 25 is less than 0. So then I'm going to attempt to factor this one. So I can see that A is 4. There is no B value because there's not an x. And C is negative 25. So we're going to go to the x method. B is 0, dividing by A, which is 4. And then 4 times negative 25 is negative 100. And the factors that add to 0 but multiply to negative 100 are going to be 10 minus 10. And then here, hopefully you see you can actually reduce this. Negative 10 over 4 can be reduced by 2, so that's negative 5 halves. And the same thing on the other side. 10 divided by 4 can reduce to 5 halves. So now I'm going to write this in my factored form. So that's going to give me 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Just like before, we take each factor, set it equal to 0, and solve. So for the first one, we subtract 5 from both sides, which gives us 2x is equal to negative 5, and then we divide by 2. And that gives us x equals negative 5 halves. For the second one, we do pretty much the same thing, except we're adding 5 as opposed to subtracting it. So 2x is equal to 5. We divide by 2, and x equals, this time, positive 5 halves. Now we're going to take that over and put it on a number line. So negative 5 halves is smaller, which is negative 2.5. And 5 halves is bigger. Now I go back to my inequality symbol. That is a less than. There's no equal bars. So these are going to be open circles. And in this particular case, I can actually test 0 because it does fall between these 2 points. So when I plug in 0, I'm going to plug it into this one. So 4 times 0 squared is 0. Actually, I plug it in. 4 times 0 squared is 0. Is 0 less than 25? That is, yes, it is. So that means my solution falls between these 2 points and not on the outsides. So recall from class that that is the smaller number is less than x, which is less than the bigger number. And there's my solution to number 1. All right. So let's take a look at number 2 now. For number 2, it's already set equal to 0. It's in standard form, so I'm going to attempt to factor it. So there is no greatest common factor. It's not a special case, so I'm going to identify A, B, and C. So A is 2, B is negative 5, and C is negative 3. So for the x method, B is negative 5 goes on the top, divide by A, which is 2. Then we multiply A times C, so 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So my factors that add to negative 5 but multiply to negative 6 are going to be negative 6 and positive 1. Because negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5, negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So my first factor is x minus 3. 1 half does not reduce, so the 2 goes in front, so that's 2x plus 1. From here, we set each factor equal to 0. So on this one here, to solve for x, we just add 3 here. So x equals 3. On the second one, we take away 1 first, which gives us 2x equals negative 1. And then we divide by 2. And that gives me x equals negative 1 half. All right, now we're going to transfer this over to a number line. So my smaller number is negative 1 half. My larger number is 3. The inequality says equal to, so these are going to be closed circles. And now 0 does fall between them, so that's the point that I'm going to test. So 2 times 0 squared is 0. Negative 5 times 0 is also 0. Minus 3 is less than or equal to 0. So for this here, now Negative 3 is less than or equal to 0, which is true. So my solutions do fall between these 2 points and not on the outsides. So my answer would be negative 1/2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3. All right, for number 3, it doesn't equal 0. So I'm going to subtract the 12x to the other side so that it does equal 0. So 6x squared minus 12x is greater than or equal to 0. GCF here, we do have it in standard form. So the GCF, they're both factorable by 6 and x. 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 2 is negative 12x. It is completely factored now, so I set each factor equal to 0. So first we're going to divide by 6. And for the first one, x is equal to 0. For the second one, we're going to add 2. And x equals to 2. Once again, we're going to transfer these over to a number line. So 0 comes first, and then 2 comes second. We refer back to our inequality. It is equal to, so these are going to be closed circles. Now this is one of those problems where I can't use 0 because it's one of the x-intercepts. So I'm going to choose 1. So we'll plug it into the original. 6 times 1 squared is greater than or equal to 12 times 1. 1 squared is 1, times 6 is 6. 12 times 1 is 12. Is 6 greater than or equal to 2? That is actually false. That's not true. So it's not in the middle. It falls on the outside. So this is going to be an OR statement where they split apart from each other. So here, x is less than or equal to 0, or x is greater than or equal to positive 2. There's my solution. On to number 4. Now number 4 is a little bit different here. If you'll notice, the a value is not a whole number, it's 1/2. So what I'm going to do to eliminate that right off the bat is just multiply the whole thing by a value of 2. Okay, so 2 times 1/2 is just x squared. 2 times negative x is negative 2x, is greater than 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and that makes it all whole numbers, looks a little bit nicer. So we're going to take away 8 to the other side. That gives me x squared minus 2x minus 8 is greater than 0. It's already in standard form. There is no greatest common factor. So I'm going to attempt to do the x method. So a is 1, b is negative 2, c is negative 8. So for the x method here, negative 2, dividing by a, which is 1, and then 1 times negative 8, negative 8. Factors are going to be 4 and 2. 4 will be negative. So negative 4 divided by 1 is minus 4, so x minus 4. 2 divided by 1 is 2, so that's x plus 2. Just like before, so now the process is just repeating. We set our factors equal to 0, and we solve for x. So for the first one, I add 4, and that gives me the solution of x is equal to 4. For the second one, I take away 2, and x equals negative 2. So once again, we transfer this over to a number line. We have negative 2, the smaller number, followed by 4, the bigger one. Once again, you can see that it is not equal to it, so these are going to be open circles. And 0 does fall between, so that's the point I'm going to use to test. So 1/2 times 0 squared is 0, minus 0 is greater than 4. So is 0 greater than 4? That is false. So therefore, our solution is not in between, it's on the outside. It's an OR statement now. So that being said, it's going to be x is less than negative 2 or x is greater than 4. All right, and for the rest of these, I'm not going to actually put them on this video. I'm just going to post the answer key.